Hello, welcome. It's time for the Ubiq community meeting. We're on Ubiq block 447966, about 44 blocks away from the first Escher airdrop. Hi, I'm Alex, community manager, CEO of Ubiq Technologies. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We're really happy to kind of get the team together, discuss what we've been working on, and yeah, just a quick update for the community. Thanks for all your submitted questions and proposal ideas, and I'll pass it off to Luke here.
All right, yeah, hey, I'm Luke, one of the founders and core developers of Ubiq. I've been working recently heavily on Escher and governance system. I pass it over to Chris.
Hey everybody, Chris Hansen here. I was involved in the original development of Ubiq, and I've been part of the community ever since. Really glad to see how everything's evolving, and very excited about the about Escher and the evolution of governance in the community. And I'll pass it off to Aldo.
Hi there, guys. Thanks. I'm Aldo. I'm core dev. I've been working in Shoku recently, and I'm trying to improve that as an Infura clone, and more things to come. And I'll pass this introduction to Angelox.
Thanks. I'm Angel. I am a longtime community member of Jumpbox and Ubiq, and I am currently the pool administrator of ubiqpool.io. And back to Alex.
Thank you for coming today, guys. Angel too. I know lots of people are asking more and more about the Ubiq pool. It has been definitely fluctuating a bit more in hash rate, so we appreciate people from the last meeting. We kind of discussed moving your hash rate if you had the availability to. I mean, it was getting down as low as 40% with some of the bigger miners. We still are about 50%, but yeah, that's one of the topics that we can kind of discuss today. Maybe even something for Escher, which I would say is amazing me the amount of participation we're having. We're up to about 52%, 51.3, sorry, percent of people have claimed their Ubiq. So yeah, you know, hats off to everyone who did that. Thank you so much. Yeah, and I know the Escher page has been done a couple rewrites here to make sure it's operating up to the amount of popularity it's been getting. Luke, any comments, I guess, on the Escher claim page?
Yeah, I guess I underestimated just how much load it would be under the original code. So I spent the last couple of days doing a lot of back-end rewrites just to shift more things into memory and less database queries taking place. And it seems to be running a lot smoother now, so that's good.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, Luke loves Vue.js.
Yes, I have become a massive fan of Vue.js. It's really nice to work with.
Yes.
Well, that's good to hear. So yeah, we have about 44 blocks, or I guess 32 now. Sorry, till the airdrop. So yeah, once that block rolls around, the balances are kind of locked in. But yeah, I guess we're gonna wait like 40 blocks before that's confirmed, and then the tokens will start getting distributed after that. Is that correct, Luke?
Yeah, so the final snapshot takes place, well, the code executes 40 blocks after the end block, but using the balances of the end block. So that's just to ensure no reorganizations took place on the blockchain, handle certain edge cases, shuffling going on. So 40 blocks is a little bit overkill, but a little bit safe. That's one of the cool things about the EVM state. You can get a balance at any point in time in the history. So you can just say, get balance for this address at this specific block. And it works great. So after that snapshot's been taken, the Escher token will be deployed on the network with the initial supply as the total amount of claimed Escher, and then that will start getting distributed to all of the people that made claims based on their balances.
Cool. Yeah, so don't be in a panic, everyone, if you don't see Escher showing up right at that block number. Like we even had in the official Escher post, allow like 800 blocks for everything to settle out. That's just out of cautionary, but yeah, we should start seeing. Like I don't think it's going out all in one transaction though, right, Luke? It's going to be kind of batched out.
Oh no, it's going to be 2,157 transactions at present.
So I think priority goes for the first claims, or how does that kind of work?
No, it will happen earliest to latest, for no real particular reason. Just it needs to be in some sort of order, and it makes sense.
Yeah, gotta keep it fair. Yeah, well, we're not gonna do largest to smallest. That would just be rude.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is going to be a bit of a process, so just be patient. It will happen over the next, say, 24 hours, less than that, but right up to that. Then we should have so there's a few things that will take place at the same time. Is Paris will be added to have Escher support built in by default. There'll be a Fusion update over the next few days. That one of the things we'll be doing is adding Escher as a default token to Fusion as well, among many other things, some bug fixes and a lot going on with the Fusion update. And then we'll see the voting interface also deployed. So people will start being able to see how that works, see the proposals, how voting works.
Cool.
If you submitted a claim for Escher, it's a very similar process.
Yeah, it was good to get people familiar with that. Do you have anything that maybe we can demo today, or is it still too rough and patchy?
I'd actually have to connect with another account from my other computer. Give me a few minutes, I'll set something up.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe this would be a good time to discuss more about the pool. So Angela, we're really happy that you were building like one of the first pools for the Ubiq network, and unfortunately, I think people get stuck into a loop of always connecting to the same pool. So that's maybe where we found ourselves in the position today. I don't know, any comments?
Yeah, so that is definitely an issue because miners rarely switch out; they stick with one pool. So the approach that I found theoretically is just up the pool fee, and so miners should switch to other pools. And I've tried to do this, but as people have pointed out, I didn't publicize it enough on the miners page because that's basically what they check. And so I will raise the fee again in the future, but at this point I'm rewriting the front end, so I will integrate it then.
Yeah, one of the proposals we had submitted by on the Google forum was adding a 15% fee, which I think is likened more to a tax than a fee, because yeah, they were saying 0.75 go to the pool operator, 14.25 go to the dev fund. I mean, it's not a foreign concept to the industry. Like, I mean, the only project I've seen really do something of that nature was Z Classic during this last fork, but I think there was more nefarious intentions there. Who knows? But it could be something cool to maybe even have with an Escher proposal. Vote to increase the fee of the main pool, or well, I shouldn't use words like official or main because it's not really that we've delegated you to be the core operator or anything like that. It's just through the time and the security that you provided, you've kind of become the de facto pool.
Well, I think if we do something like that, people would just switch for other pools. So
yeah. So making a more public fee would, I think, be a good start. And then if you want to get crazy, can talk more about involving Escher in it at all.
All right.
Cool.
I'm also collaborating with Pool, and we are kind of sharing the work we're doing. So I'm providing the front end, and he's doing a very cool thing where he is containerizing the whole pool to provide better reliability and self-healing stuff. So this theoretically will be like the pool will be indestructible. So it's good for everyone and for the network.
That's sweet. I'm glad to hear there's some collaboration going on with the other pools. I've really been enjoying some of the conversation in the Ubiq miners channel and even the pool ops. So I guess next topic could be Shoku. Aldo, do you think you can give us a little update on how Shoku's doing?
Yeah, past day I was in open source block Explorer Now initiative that was created by Griff Green, where several people are joining to try to combine forces. And in there I was presenting Shoku to more people, and it went very well because I'm trying to open Shoku as much as possible. I started rewriting the code to be more generic, which initially it was not super generic. And I'm pretty confident that once this rewrite is done, I can start deploying. For the Ubiq is already done. For Ethereum, I have to make some adjustments, and I want to include more networks. So with that in mind, I think that more people can join and collaborate to the project, which is always a very good thing. So, and also I'm searching for alternative ways of funding it in a way that can be even better or useful. I don't know. So let's see how this progresses. So for now, I was in the previous meeting. I was saying I'm going to release now, and right now I'm going to say that I'm working on it because I prefer to do a better thing than to release fast and bad. In this case.
Yeah, it's we want it to be nearly perfect when it's released.
Yeah, not nearly perfect, but the most perfect thing. I mean, as I'm not in a rush, I want to release it. For example, this rewrite is nearly done, and is for the better. I think. So yeah.
Okay, cool. You all set up there, Luke?
You're mute, Luke. Yeah.
Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, so there's a second screen with a machine grid. If you want to select that.
Yeah, I'm showing it.
My God, how many tabs you have open, Luke?
Oh man.
Yeah, a few. Yeah, so it's still a little bit more to do. It's fairly basic, but the main function is working. So we've got the sort of dashboard with the latest proposals. These are just test proposals. Nothing, no real data. It's all just for testing. But you can sort of see how it works. So yeah, purpose description. So all of this gets pulled from the GitHub issues. Chat off the thing. Coming into the proposal itself. The full detailed description. All of this will be very familiar to from the Escher stuff. It's sort of very similar. We've got the candidates section. So this shows you who your options you can vote for, how they're currently weighted, the usual charts and stuff, and the votes. So voting is done very similar to how you claimed. If you're using Pyrus, then you call the vote function, and then you enter a candidate number. So when you select the vote function, a text field pops up to enter 1, 2, or 3.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. I don't think that people can see the other monitor because you're talking from a different account. Alex,
I have the camera
you're
control on though. It's on Luke's screen.
Yeah, but when I'm looking at it, I don't see that. I just see him.
Maybe your quality needs to be turned up because we don't.
Oh, never mind. I see it in the live feed. It's just in the Hangout that it's wrong. My bad.
Okay.
Carry on.
All right, go. Yeah, so that's voting for Paris is the same as how you just made a claim. You just enter a number. There's that one extra step. Fusion is the same. There's same process, just that one extra step of entering your candidate you wish to vote for. Now I can't demo this properly just yet, but these vote buttons integrate with Sparrow. So if you've got the Sparrow installed and your Escher is in Sparrow, you click the appropriate vote button and then confirm the transaction in Sparrow. That will simplify that process so you don't have to deal with the contract directly. And that's the same process if you visit the interface or inside the Fusion browser itself.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty much rundown of that. There's the discussion that takes place. What just I need on GitHub. So this is where people can discuss everything. Start is pulled from here for the interface anyway. So if you want to have discussions and you don't have a GitHub account, create one. It's useful, even if you just for discussion purposes. You don't need to be a developer. So the main difference is it uses your Escher balance, not your Ubiq balance for your otherwise very similar to the claim process.
Cool. So like we definitely should have some test proposals, I think, going shortly after the airdrop's done. But yeah, I mean, whatever I guess you think is ready right now. For the first ones, I think even just voting on ASIC resistance, having that as kind of an ongoing poll would kind of be interesting.
So there's I've got a set apparently. So there's sort of different types of proposals or votings. No, the difference between a proposal and a poll isn't really anything technically, but a poll should be considered, I guess, less formal proposals. Like the outcome may not get enforced; it's just to gather information and feedback from the community. Whereas a proposal is more real.
Mm-hmm.
So a poll might lead to an official proposal, depending on the outcomes of the poll.
Okay. Well, I did have on our meeting doc here of just what the first kind of proposals or things that we need to prioritize. And given some of the recent upturns in the market, I really want to get the NDF forked coins taken care of. If we need to decide to liquidate them into Bitcoin or liquidate them into even Ether. Or you just hold on to them. But I'm personally of the simplification of our NDF funds. So that might be something we can kind of push through earlier. Then the funding of the DEX and the bounty bridges, I guess that can be released with our full kind of proposal outline in the quarterly report next month. Yeah, that's just, oh yeah, the other things would be like names for the governance system, because I just calling it governance system is a bit generic, and I feel like we can be a little more creative in that, and that maybe also goes along with a logo for Escher. People want to start submitting logos through like a proposal system. We can start voting on which one might be the best. So is there any way, I guess, Luke, of like linking proposals, or like a user submits their own, like, hey, this should be the Escher logo, and maybe how does that reference to another proposal? Or
yeah. So that's all that takes place inside GitHub. So the proposal interface itself pulls its description from GitHub itself. So you can use in GitHub, you can link to other issues, which in this case are proposals, and those links will follow through and format the same inside the voting interface.
Okay, so we can do kind of some nested proposal voting system.
Yeah, to the most, because a lot of things are going to take place from multiple proposals. You might start with a quite broad, master nodes, yes or no, and then that might lead to a more technical proposal on the actual technicals if yes won the original one. Or ASIC resistance. The first one might just be do we plan to fork to fight it. Second one might be what algorithm.
Yeah. Okay. So we're at about 20 blocks now till the airdrop.
Yay! It's nearly the end.
I mean, like this has been sneaking up on me. Like originally it was the 25th, and then it was going to be the night, like tonight, and then it's like now it's middle of the afternoon. So we've had some havoc played with the network. Somebody's been we had some big miner playing around with Flux.
Yeah, there's a big Russian miner with like 200 gigahash that's hopping on a Russian pool from time to time.
My God.
I mean, it's all part of it's his ability to do it. You know, we don't have any means of stopping him, but we can keep a close eye. That's for dang sure. Yeah, I think Flux has been handling pretty well though. I haven't seen the average block time get below like 82. It was like the lowest I saw it. But yeah, he's definitely giving it a workout. So next topic, I guess, before we kind of get into the submitted questions and proposals, is just talking about Toronto and Luke, your coming visit here. Do you have your tickets booked yet?
Not my flights, but I'm doing that like tonight, so it's fine. But I've got all my other travel stuff sorted out.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I got the accommodation sorted out for EdCon, which is sold out. So good thing you got your ticket early. So I'm getting really excited for it. We're gonna see Griff Green, Vitalik, Vlad Zamfir, Joseph Lubin. Basically, like the entire Ethereum development community is gonna be at EdCon in Toronto. So looking real forward to it. I'm just in talks with scheduling a meeting with one of the major Canadian banks. They wanted to hear more about the Einstein project. So ideally, I can have you sit down with me for that. So it can be a bit more than just myself in one of these meetings. So I'll see if we can start that out at the same time. And then I guess I'll be going to consensus with the Einstein team if you're not available to.
Yeah, so Aldo, do you want to talk about Barcelona?
Yeah, I'm preparing. Well, I'm co-organizing an event which is called Legal Hackers, the group name. The original entity is from New York City. It's more related to people that are in law. I mean, lawyers, but also they are going to come geeks. I hope. So basically, I propose to look to give a talk, blockchain one-on-one. I want to do it with him to present what is the blockchain or the benefits that brings to other aspects in life, not only for the crypto money. And also, it's another opportunity to present Ubiq to a different audience. I mean, there are going to be small hackathons, small workshops, more talks. So yeah, it's an opportunity to present Ubiq to more people. The event is going to take place the 11th and 12th of May. We are going to start doing the marketing right now in this week once we have confirmed the place, and then it's going to be free. This is like a proto version of the next year event. I mean, if these things goes well, next year is going to be bigger and with more resources to do it. So let's see what happens. But Ubiq is going to be in the middle of the event.
So it's kind of a pseudo Ubicon. Is that the de facto name?
more or less.
Sweet.
No, I mean I want to bring more people. I'm also in talks with Kosala from the MU team to having him doing a small talk. Also, there are coming here some important names here in Spain that are working with the blockchain and the Ethereum ecosystem. I don't know if Griff Green is going to present something. I think for the dates is not very good to him, but I would like to propose him. So yeah, more or less, let's see what happens. But Ubiq in the front, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I had someone from Vancouver reach out to me as well after reading the Raspberry Pi guide for setting up a node. They wanted to do a hacker night where they basically are setting up a bunch of different nodes. So they're wondering if someone can call in and kind of talk through it or even be in person. So I got to go through the guide myself and then I'll commit to a date for that. But yeah, there's kind of more opportunities for hackathon kind of conferences that we're taking the lead on. Yeah, it's really good for this summer. I think we'll be doing much more of those, especially once we have more of a permanent footing in somewhere like Toronto or in the region here. Then we can do a more regular hangout with local developers.
I just wanted to add, I was at an event last week called In Crypto in Toronto here. There's about maybe 50 people. It was kind of an invite-only industry event focused on people that are involved in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. What I thought was great was I talked to a lot of people at the event that had already heard about Ubiq, and someone even said like, "Oh, you guys won the blockchain platform of the year at the DFI event." So it's great to see that there's a lot of awareness in the Toronto market. And I was going to propose, Luke, when you're in town, let's create like maybe a little Ubiq meetup, get together. We've got a lot of people here in Toronto that are interested in Ubiq. It'd be great to get everybody out and maybe have a beer together.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just coughing up a lung here. Excuse me.
You are old, Alex. You're getting old.
yeah, it's catching up to me. So yeah, that's great to hear, Chris. I've been coming across it more just in conversations and meetups. We're like, oh, I've heard of Ubiq before. I'm just like, oh, really? Like, I just off the top. And even now, I just got an email from a local investment advisor in a small town nearby. It's like, I heard you're into this Bitcoin thing. I was really wondering if I could sit down with you and pick your brain a bit. So it's not just Ubiq, I guess. It's kind of the whole industry is really starting to recognize the technology more. So yeah, we can start getting into the questions now. And I guess while I got you, Chris, we had a really good question from last meeting. How is kind of blockchain and Bitcoin and everything being seen within the traditional industry now? Is it starting to be used, or is it still just kind of something that's being discussed?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So my general thesis in the space is that these worlds ultimately come together. But also that's not a straight line. Like I think the worlds come together, and that's going to look differently in different parts of traditional financial services and different parts of the crypto space. One of the things that I have seen is like a lot of the major banks have started to think about crypto as an asset class, and so this is true. I would say kind of leading up to December where we saw like a lot of interest and a lot of momentum. And then also following December, there's been kind of a recognition that it's a long growth space, and it's not just about, I think pre-December, a lot of people were interested in the space in the traditional community just because they saw like massive returns, right? And this always gets kind of the wealth people excited. Anybody that had like a high net worth sort of investment customer was kind of looking around the crypto space saying, how do I get involved? Now there seems to be a recognition that there's kind of a long, steady kind of linear growth path here. Seeing a lot of traditional plays, like traditional plays, by that I mean, like if you think of any category of financial services that exists in the traditional marketplace, I'm seeing a lot of spin-offs of those concepts in the crypto space or in the blockchain space, and so that's just a sign, I think, of maturity. So the space is kind of, both sides are kind of recognizing the need for these worlds to come together in some points. So I certainly see that there's an acceptance, kind of a growing acceptance of the legitimacy of the crypto space, and I say crypto beyond blockchain. So there was that initial acceptance in traditional financial services where, like, oh yeah, we like the blockchain, but we don't like the other stuff. And so now I think there's kind of a growing awareness of, there are crypto projects out there that have technology that's interesting, that also have, kind of a broader play that's interesting. And I think these worlds are definitely merging together over time.
Yeah, I think I've been seeing it more too, just the traditional space, or well, even in rooms that are kind of like hardcore Bitcoiners, people are maximalists too, just discussing some of the issues that someone like or a group like Einstein is dealing with. There's even some understanding of like, yeah, there are a lot of issues that come along with operating like a fiat gateway. So they're trying to understand, to do the right thing, like it requires things that maybe don't jive with how we traditionally saw Bitcoin. There still are these other avenues, something like local Bitcoins, and if you want to use Bitcoin in a certain way, you can. But in order for like mom and pop investors or people from the more traditional space to come in, there has to be kind of a higher degree of like the traditional business model, of knowing your customer and really, I guess, working with regulators in that way.
Yeah, I think part of the challenge that we have as a community in the crypto space is that there are parts of the community that are really opaque, and there are parts of the community that are more transparent. And so my concern is that the regulators just see one group. They don't necessarily see that these are different groups. That there are parts of the crypto community that are, adopting AML best practices, parts of, like, most exchanges, for example, in Canada and the US, they've adopted some sort of AML KYC process. Most are challenged to scale that. But in general, there are good actors in the community, and there are kind of areas of brightness and areas where it's more opaque. My concern is that the regulators don't necessarily see the nuances here, that the regulators need to also kind of work with the good actors in the space to help communicate what the principles are, so that then, we can take the principles and translate them into this world of crypto and blockchain and apply the principles in the technology. My concern is that they may not understand the technology and try and apply, regulations that may not make sense in the space.
Yeah, I've definitely had to explain that, like, certain concepts that don't apply to all chains. Tracing fraudulent transactions doesn't really work on Monero. just little things like that I think aren't within everyone's wheelhouse of knowledge. But yeah, it is getting better every day. I haven't felt a big step back in recent.
I have to say yes, because we don't have any more Bitcoinet.
Yeah.
Bitcoinet.
Right now, the only like major scam that's worrying right now is just this whole Twitter, send me 1 ETH and I'll send you 5 back, which I don't know how. I think everyone's kind of got one of those bots now. I saw Luca has a fake Twitter bot.
Yes, Luke is now famous, He's always giving away Ethereums,
Oh, yeah. Seems like a thing a Ubiq developer would do. Yeah, so if you guys watching this see any like replies to Ubiq Smart, myself, Luke's or even Julian's Twitter, or Aldo, please do your part and report them for being fraudulent, trying to basically fish, impersonate us and fish for Ethereum. Yeah, it'd be much appreciated.
I had one of these last week, and I woke up in the morning, had a bunch of messages, and had one of these Twitter clones impersonating me. But Twitter was great. Like after about an hour, they had shut it down. It was really quick.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, they're battling all these new tricks that are coming up every day. Anyways, like they gotta adjust. It seems like the Twitter cryptoverse is like their main kind of client right now, like of where all the action's happening. Yeah. So we can get more.
So another one to keep your eye out for is mostly seen it in Telegram so far. People posting private keys. It's a trap.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
A very creative trap. So the private key will be for an address that has a lot of tokens and no Ethereum. So they're trying to lure you into sending Ethereum to pay for the gas to take the tokens. But as soon as your Ethereum arrives, it's a smart contract and it sends it somewhere else. Yeah, just be careful of that one. If someone posted private keys, it's probably a trap. Don't trying to think you've got some free tokens if you send some Ethereum to it.
So we are.
If they are doing this, it's because it's working, at least at some extent. So yeah, be careful, guys. To all of you.
I think Sven just had a good comment in chat there. He said to remind everybody to set up two-factor authentication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just had a Reddit post of someone who didn't have 2FA. Their email got hacked, and they were able to clean up their Bittrex account because they didn't have any 2FA to kind of add extra protection on top of their email. Because yeah, it's kind of necessary in a lot of cases.
Yeah, much better if you keep your money in your hardware wallet. It's even better than living in Bittrex. If you have a big amount of money, it's better.
Yeah, there's security practices you should take for being your own bank. Having a hardware wallet is probably one of the best ones to, if you're going to be your own broker. Definitely use 2FA. So going through the questions here, because we only have like 10 blocks left, and I'd rather not be online when we have to do the sending and stuff. We have a couple people asking if Julian is still involved. Where is he? So Vince from the Midwest, a couple other people asked about it. So Julian is very active in the project. You see him in the Discord all the time. He's not as public facing anymore, mainly because he works full-time for Bittrex as well. But he does still contribute to the code base. He's very active. He helps run the Ubiq Twitter. Yeah, he's very much still part of the project, but we try and avoid the single man sort of issues that other smaller projects might have, where now the project has definitely transcended beyond Julian, where there's several of us working on it. I don't know, any thoughts, Luke?
Yeah, he was very involved. He's been very involved in Escher and the governance system. I've been doing the development, but he played a crucial role in this research and planning stages of everything, and we were trying to figure out how everything was going to work. Even just things like the distribution schedule for the token itself. So he's very active. And yeah, one of the issues with a lot of small altcoins is the community and public perception gets very centralized around one individual or a small group of individuals. So moving forward for the long-term health of a decentralized platform, I think it's important to try and slowly phase that out. So yeah, some of us having less public-facing roles in the future, you might see this with me as well, but I'd still be working on Ubiq.
And that's how we kind of grow as a team too, is knowing that there's anyone can kind of take the lead on certain projects. Nobody has to be running everything. I just kind of do do my thing in a very subjective way. But yeah, I've had a couple people refer to me as the Vitalik of Ubiq. I'm like, that is not an accurate description at all. Yeah, it's just avoiding like the cult of personality. I think is very important with any of these projects. Because if you start relying on a single person too much, then if that person decides they don't want to be involved in the project anymore, then it becomes a serious problem. I don't think
we saw a while back with the fake articles of reporting that Vitalik had died in a car accident.
Yeah,
fixed on the Ethereum ecosystem and the market until he had to post a selfie with a recent block hash to verify that he was still alive.
Yeah, we need a smart contract dead man switch just to show that he's still around all the time. All right, that covers a couple of the questions. Now we have a couple on Escher. So will Escher be a different coin? Yes, technically it would be a token. Ubiq would be a coin. That's a very difficult description to get across, but yeah, it will be a token on the Ubiq network along with all the other tokens. Sounds like we're going to issue it actually as an ERC20 before it gets transformed into a more modern token standard, because they're still being developed. Will subsequent airdrops work the same way as the first? What will be different? Yeah, they should all work the same. It will be a different contract address that you sign to. There will be different rewards of Esh. I don't know, Luke, anything else that will be different?
No, it will be exactly the same process. Obviously, different claim period, start block, end block, and the ratio of Escher, as you mentioned, will be different depending on the airdrop. But the process is exactly the same, same interface, same everything. Different contracts though, so just be aware of that. All information can be found on the interface.
Cool. Let's see. Will the Escher token be implemented in the Fusion wallet? Yeah, we kind of discussed it being right on the baseline, like a default token.
Yeah. So in the meantime, you can add it as a custom token, or you will be able to once it's deployed very shortly. And it will then be added to the next Pyrus and Fusion updates as a default token.
Cool. Please tell me how I can get the Esh airdrop. Yeah, I mean, you've got about 10 blocks or 9 blocks to claim it. So yeah, you can go to pyrus.com or pyrus.ubiqsmart.com, go to the contracts tab, and yeah, you can click through the claim process. There's a 20-minute YouTube video which might get you all the way through by the end, but yeah, otherwise there'll be an airdrop again in 3 months if you want to claim for that one. Will it come to the same wallet that claimed it? Yep. When do you plan to hit more exchange markets? So we've been working very closely with Einstein. Their original goal was Q1, but Luke, you've been working with one of the developers from Alpha Point. I guess they're still doing some testing.
Yeah, so I need to touch base with them again, I guess. So they've been doing testing. They stumbled across a small issue during one test, so I have to know that. And as far as I know, they should be pretty good to go. But I will touch base with them and find out exactly where they're at.
Cool. Yeah. As long as it works flawlessly, I'm okay with waiting another couple of weeks. I was just worried they were going to launch it like 2 days before the Escher drop, and we'd have liquidity issues. Now let's see. What is the priority order of projects solidifying the infrastructure of Ubiq? I'm not sure. I think he's talking more about maybe like Shoku, and then yeah, the other use cases that we are planning for Escher. So that's
yes,
kind of. Yeah, go ahead.
So some of that's probably going to be decided by governance. So it's sort of hard for us to say now. If the community votes against a certain project, obviously it's going to be top priority. But there's a few things. Obviously, Shoku is Aldo's working on Shoku. That's his primary focus at the moment. So just finishing off governance. One thing I'd like to work on next is a decentralized exchange or DEX. They're running on Ubiq for easy exchange of Ubiq and tokens.
Also, an Android client for Ubiq will be awesome. I think that there are a lot of projects that we can work, but as we have Escher, let the community to decide.
I think the other thing too with official proposals and just the NDF in general is with kind of the releasing of the system, we're disclosing all the addresses. So if people want to donate to any projects that maybe aren't receiving adequate funding from the NDF, that's available. Like those will all be publicized addresses that they can donate to in their own way. So you can vote with your Ubiq, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's where like I see like there's going to kind of be added governance beyond just the Escher system. There's disclosing all those addresses so people can top them up as they please. So that will kind of help, I think, spur things along too. And I talked a lot with the TrueBit dev, Sina, when he visited Vancouver. He's working on the Doge Ethereum bridge, and like they developed a concept where like any chain can link to an EVM by submitting kind of like proof of work. If that makes any sense. But yeah, so they when I explained to him the governance system and that we were really interested in establishing a bridge and that there might be a bounty, they discussed that they would probably pursue that bounty as well. So this is where we can start including other projects into development on Ubiq because we're able to put the incentives up ahead of time where they can, because they were the ones who claimed the bounty for the Doge Ethereum bridge. So they're clearly like that business model for their team to earn that way. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? What should more Escher? Any tokens or projects outside of Sphere or BitSeeds looking to move over to Ubiq? I actually discussed a little bit with the CryptoKitties guy about having CryptoKitties bridge over, but it was more just a thought process discussing like where their head's at. Because I asked them during his presentation, like, are you guys going to be on your own chain soon? Like, I think you can justify it with the amount of like fees you guys are generating. But yeah, he didn't want to answer that publicly. He deterred the question. But yeah, their main thought was they wanted to go to another public network. Like they didn't want to create a private chain for it. They felt that they kind of went against the ethos of what they were doing. So he was interested in Ubiq, but it's still like, I don't know if we can encourage them greatly to do it. I think a lot of it comes down to a bridge. That's where we're going to see a lot of tokens maybe moving over. Existing projects, I guess going along with the TrueBit thing, we have been discussing with Not So Fast for probably a year and a half about his token that he wanted to launch, which would start off as a proof of work script coin, I think, and then move to a token on the Ubiq network, just using proof of work for distribution. So that could be something we can expect probably by the fall, but don't want to give any more plans that way. Right now, we're just going to concentrate on getting Sphere done and maybe developing a plan for BitSeeds where it's not necessarily a token or a currency. There's a different means for their donation system. I don't know, any other leads that you guys have come across for token swaps?
Well, we had one approach, which we can't name right now, but we're just kind of going through what the gas would look like. Interesting community. They like the fact that Ubiq is public chain and has an open community around it. and a strong kind of collection of miners that are helping us secure the chain. So I think the great sign is that we've got projects approaching, and we're kind of doing the math to see what the gas would look like.
Cool. That's good to hear. I guess, Aldo, you've been talking with some of the Giveth team. Are they interested in moving from the Ethereum testnet to Ubiq?
Well, they are. Griff Green, especially, he was interested for the Giveth to speak multiple currencies. So he literally said that if we manage a way to create a good bridge, he will put Giveth in more currencies available. So for me, the Giveth project is a useful one. So I would like to see that happen.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just glad we're maintaining discussions with them. Griff and his team do a lot of really good work for the EVM in general. Let's see here. Chuck from the US says, it appears there are only a few developers right now. What are your plans to scale? So I mean, like, we've been growing steadily. I think with us having the spot in Toronto and maybe more like developer meetups, that's where we can have Ubiq Technologies maybe fill the role of more of a traditional startup and have a lot more devs who are being who are developing and maybe honing their skills, because there aren't a lot of devs out there with blockchain skill that are looking for work. I think they've already found work. But you know, there's definitely a lot of developers with the skill set who are eager to learn. If you put out a posting for an internship at a blockchain company, you're going to get like 100 replies. So there's definitely a lot of interest for people to learn and grow. So I think that's where having the company kind of have a headquarters will be really important and help us kind of scale and grow. And also, yeah, the work that Aldo's doing in Barcelona as well. We're having more meetups and stuff. Just making sure people understand that there's other options for the EVM, because I think a lot of people are developing for that standard. Chuck also suggested a proposal for paying for a listing on Binance or KuCoin. There could be opportunity there, but yeah, I think we'll leave that up to the public to submit a proposal for that. We'll definitely cast a vote on it. Who do you see as competitors? How do you grow and scale properly in order to compete or keep Ubiq relevant? That's Dane from California. I think just persistence. I mean, right now it seems like there's a new project coming every day, but then you know, another project also leaves every day. We're hearing stories of projects being destroyed or founder running off with the ICO funds. And whether it's a PR move or not, it's more of a marathon. So that's really.
I believe in for us, as we started without no pre-mine, nor ICO, nor bullshit of that kind. Sometimes, I mean, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. We are not driven by greed, at least, and that's as Alex said, it's very important to keep us in the long run, I think.
Yeah, doing things right from the beginning is important. Like, that's where we've worked kind of 3 years to develop this community and ecosystem and currency. The platform only being a year old, we still have a huge hedge on a lot of other systems that are still trying to develop the same caliber of community.
Yeah, I mean, what I see as our key advantage is we've got a great community. Everybody's in it for the right reasons. We're very open and transparent, and I think with Escher we've kind of taken that to the next level, where, you know, now this is not our coin. This is a community coin. The community is going to decide the future. The community is going to set the direction, And so to me, it's in many ways, it's a very pure implementation of the decentralized concepts. And, we hope to continue to kind of build out the platform and continue to make that reality happen.
And I think it's important too to make sure that we don't position ourselves as a competitor to Ethereum. We're a complementing network, and I think that's just from my conversation with the guy from Axiom, the CryptoKitties guy. He really appreciated that there are other options in the space that are in it for the long haul and have actually pushed for other opportunities, and we've kind of done our own part for scaling in a way too, like we're giving this other EVM. So yeah, even discussing with Vlad Zamfir, he was like, yeah, it's cool to hear that there's other people using the code base. So I think we got like 1 or 2 more questions here and only like 4 more blocks. Let's see, can you give some example of upcoming use cases for Escher? Luke, you kind of touched on this earlier. I think Dex was one of the main ones.
Yes, I mean, it obviously depends on how things get weighted in the governance system itself, but some things that I'd like to see happen, obviously DEX, bridges with other networks, RAIN implemented on Ubiq. And yes, those would probably be my main interests. But there's a lot going on. Also, there's predictive markets. There's even like the golem. There's a lot of different things that we could look at that could utilize Escher. But yeah, for now, those 3 are probably my main interest.
Yeah, it's like anything that's kind of open sourcing their code and doing an ICO to develop some new system for an ERC20 is something that we can use for it. We really want to try and keep a lot of the service level stuff or infrastructure kind of level applications. We want to make sure they're kind of the first priority.
Yeah, if you want, I have the new UI with the latest blocks.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Let's, what block are we on now? 3 more. Okay. Yeah. So that's the new UI for Ubiq pool. Oh, did you catch that? Yeah. So this is what we're expecting to see Ubiq pool look like, I guess, in the next update.
Yeah, it's still a work in progress, but should be out in the next month, hopefully. And a thing I wanted to mention is I'm also working on another project. I don't know if you guys know ethernodes.org. It's basically a network map, and I've already worked with Luke to fetch node data from all his cluster of nodes around the world, and theoretically it will be up and running soon. Cool.
So we'll get to see everyone's Raspberry Pis soon enough.
Yes.
That's sweet.
Last block.
Oh man.
1 more block.
So this is perfect for the final question. What's the total supply of Escher coming from Houston, Texas? So unless there's any last minute claims, I mean, we just saw a big one come through for 263,000 Ubiq. But it looks like the total supply is going to be 249 million, 333,000 and 175 Escher.
Yeah, so the final figures will be locked in 41 blocks from now. They shouldn't change too much. That total thing updates every 5 minutes at the moment. So it might be slightly off. New claims just came in. But it will be updated and accurate shortly, and you'll be able to see that information on the claim interface afterwards. All this information, all the claim data will always be available in the future. So what will happen was we'll see just an alert pop up saying that this claim period ends very soon.
Cool.
And the final snapshots will start taking place.
Yeah, so I guess we can wrap this up here with this extra long last block.
Actually, it was mine, but not by me. So,
so it hasn't been broadcasted yet. Excuse me. So yeah, everyone at home, make sure like you're discussing or excuse me. You're planning some logo ideas for Escher, maybe a name for the governance system. My suggestion right now is something like polarity, something between positive and negative. But yeah, if you guys have some cool space age ideas or something that goes along with the Escher name for the Escher governance system, call it maybe UGS for short. But yeah, that's get ready to submit those proposals. We're really excited, and we'll have our next meeting probably in a month's time, maybe shortly after I get back from consensus. Yeah, which might be like the 18th or something. It will be around the same time the quarterly is kind of being put out too, so it'll be good to discuss those things. Man, this is a really long block. Is it? You sure it's been mined?
I think so. Let me check on Explorer.
On Darkrest, I'm seeing it's like a 3-minute block right now.
Yeah, this is our luck. This is going to be like the only 1-hour block on the Ubiq network ever.
Yes.
And no final questions, I guess, from the YouTube chat. I guess Chris had to step out. He's a busy guy, but we appreciate him coming out and giving us some of his feedback. And
I wonder if that giant miner just hopped off to make it stall here.
Yeah, he's trying to submit a ton of transactions. Oh yeah, this is absurdity.
It'll come through, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not too worried.
I've just never been so excited for one block.
Yeah, it's like winning the lottery.
Yeah, somebody managed to get that last big claim in, but I don't see any other. A couple stragglers too, though.
So yeah, I'll ping more details about the Legal Hackers event. I mean, for those who are near Barcelona, as a summary. I mean,
cool.
Yeah, I would like to record at least the talks, but I don't know if that is possible. Let's see.
All right, cool. So anyone who wants to find out information, like obviously join the Discord. That's where the most accurate and up-to-date information is. We'll definitely put some tweets out about that event, maybe even a dedicated blog post if there's more details that need to be put out. Yeah, and then yeah, we look forward to anyone in the Toronto area and May.
There it went.
There we go.
We have the block.
Airdrop.
Nice.
Go for it.
Yeah, my God.
Who managed to win that one?
Congratulations, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you again in another 88,000 blocks. So that was yeah. Ubiq pool I think solved it.
Yes.
Nice. All right.
Okay.
Well, on that note, yeah, Luke, let us know if there's any issues or help you need with the distribution. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we look forward to having your questions for the next developer community hangout. And yeah, start getting your claims in for the next one. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.